Jack was walking down a lonely path through the sinister forest. He was reading a note. The strangest thing of that oppressive night was the deathly silence that surrounded him. Dark clouds hung low over the trees, and a dense skirt of fog, like a thick curtain, hid the end of the path. He continued up the path, looking for the place, when he arrived to an opening of the lush forest. Suddenly, the fog disappeared, and he glimpsed the motel. A sense of despair overcame him, giving him shivers down his spine. The desolate sight to see in the middle of the night. The building was surrounded by decaying trees like ghostly sentinels, and its facade was dressed with lifeless briars. Steps, he entered the dark entrance, but there was no one to be seen. At the end of the spacious, bleak parlor was a decrepit desk. Rang the bell when unexpectedly a hideous clerk with icy eyes and greasy hair appeared. At first sight, he was a regular clerk, but there was something disturbing about him. His eerie eyes had an air of malignity. An intense stench filled the air, the acrid smell of the old building mixed with the nasty smell of the clerk's sweat, and it made the atmosphere unbearable.
Sir, I have to meet someone in the room 13.
That's impossible. That room is closed since...
I was supposed to meet that woman in that room.
And my friend, here are the keys. Go see for yourself.
Jack turns around and goes down the narrow, bleak corridor. The floor creaked under his feet. Pale lamps flickered, and the moth wings fluttered and crashed against them. As he advanced, he felt unnerved as he heard the scratching steps of rats coming from the ceiling. As Jack turned towards the elevator, he glimpsed out of the corner of his eye how the flaking yellow wallpaper moved, as if something crawled across it. This terrifying sight chilled his blood to the point that he couldn't move for a second, but he managed to shake off the fear and continued his way to the room. Opening the door with a rusty key, he touched it with his left hand. The door was surprisingly cold. He also felt a slight vibration while he turned the key frighteningly. Opened the squeaky door, and what he saw made him hold his breath, giving him goosebumps. Cockroaches were swarming all over the walls and ceiling and floor. At that moment, Jake attempted to escape from this creepy scene, but the bedroom door slammed shut, while cockroaches started to move towards him, towards the middle of the room. He became petrified, and those awful bugs built up into a female figure.
Hello, I'm Linda. Where were you? I have been waiting for you for a long time. Welcome home, my love.
Suddenly, her mouth opened itself, and from head to toe, these insects ran into him. Jake tried to close his mouth, but it was too late. Some of them had already reached his throat, leaving a taste of blood. A taste of death in his mouth. Some of the creatures gave way through his nose and ears, and voiceless, he gave hysterical strokes in order to defend himself. Hundreds of bugs have settled in his skin, and he felt how these little creatures were biting him and swarming into his body. Those which had made their way down his throat swallowed and killed him slowly and painfully. In his last breath of life, he heard a voice inside his mind.
You will be mine forever.